On behalf of Sadie Blue Software, I would like to introduce Jen Stegora, Director of Technical Services at Shepherd Data Services. Jen, tell us about the systems that you used for project tracking prior to Agility Blue.
In my current position, I've been lucky enough to have had Agility Blue for a while. However, in my prior positions, I would have typically used a combination of organizing cases or projects via Outlook folders, maybe network folders or shared drives, and also save documents on the firm's document management system. But in addition to the multiple folders for some cases, I was even creating Word documents or Excel files that contain matter details so I could remind myself of the case details and change orders that would evolve over the collection, discovery, and production phases of the case.
How has Agility Blue changed the way you manage projects?
Honestly, it's allowed me to work on more cases than I would have ever imagined. And you might think, well, I'm not sure that's a good thing. But having everything documented in an organized system that sends out notifications to the appropriate people when projects come in, are modified, or completed, means we can look at tasks as individual units of work. And that removes a lot of pressure from everyone on the team. People are not tasked with remembering every detail because you can document things at the matter level. Like maybe you throw an ESI agreement into your matter level, or maybe the project level where you might create a project for doing all the matters collection, and down to the task level where maybe you make a task for each individual collection piece. For the person tasked with doing the work, they can pick up a task and have access to whatever information they need about that particular case to get their task done and move on to the next.
What are 3 things you find the most valuable about Agility Blue?
I think the first is kind of like I mentioned, we can take on more work. When you're not trying to remember every detail of every case, you're not limited by the caseload, and you can look at projects as individual units of work. Next, I guess I would say that it makes teamwork more seamless. For example, if someone's out sick or they're on vacation, the case details are all tracked at the project level and task level, so someone else can familiarize themselves with the case, with any outstanding projects, and they're able to take in new ones. So you're not having to hold the project until your team member is back. That also makes handoffs super easy. So when things get busy in a matter and you need to reprioritize, you can reassign tasks as you need to. And then lastly, I guess I would say information management. So I've spent much of my career in project management, and being able to pull up the case details to start a new project, like maybe before starting a production, I'm going to pull up the last production volume, or maybe I want to answer a client's question about the status of their collection. And I can do that in just a few seconds, and that's really invaluable. But as a manager, it's also great to be able to check in on team members, make sure that they're understanding the projects, they're going through the property quality control measures, and they're keeping an appropriate pace. So when COVID arrived and we all had to start working from home, a lot of managers might have struggled with monitoring employee productiveness. But with Agility Blue, that was never a concern. I was able to see what each team member is working on every day.
How has Agility Blue helped with your staffing plans?
We've used Agility Blue over the years, and we've grown very fond of it. We're able to have tasks for each unit of work we do, whether that's a client-facing project or an internal project. And as a manager, who doesn't love a built-in checklist of work? It's very satisfying to look at the task board at the end of the day and say, wow, this is a great day. Look at everything the team accomplished. But creating tasks for each unit of work means I can have a bird's eye view of what the entire department is doing, but I can also narrow in and see what each individual team member is accomplishing. And I can easily see when certain people have too much on their plate and we need to adjust the workload by moving stuff to people with more capacity or even bring in new team members.
How has Agility Blue enabled you to provide your clients with better service?
Well, coming from the vendor side of legal teams, we really do want our clients to have successful outcomes. And sometimes things come up for them where we need to do things on an expedited basis. With Agility Blue, you can look at your task board and your task deadlines, and you can make adjustments so everyone on the team can see the new priority without having to email or call a whole string of people. But in addition, it makes for really great project template building. And by that, I mean the ability to reproduce work that went really well. So hopefully, when you're working with people, you're going to find things that you do really well on one matter. And something new comes in and you can say, hey, I've run into that before, or maybe my colleague did. And you have this wealth of information to go back to and reproduce for the next project, which not only means that you're constantly improving your work, but also doing it more efficiently, as a lot of that can be saved in Agility Blue.